You know, I used to be really jealous of like my American friends who like, my family is very close, but it's also like through an iron will, right? It's like, you're gonna come see us every week. I don't care if you like it or not, you know? And like often, of course, as like a 19, 20-year-old, like you don't wanna go see your parents every week.
Right.
But now I'm so grateful. Like now I'm like, actually like, family means commitment, you know? Like, and that's why you can have chosen family too, but it's you have to have a level of commitment. And commitment means doing things that you don't want to do sometimes and being together through hard times. And like, I'm so grateful that like, they didn't give a shit if we wanted to or not. Because now I'm so close with them in a way that like, I remember I used to like hear people be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna move back in with my mom and dad, they're gonna charge me rent. And I was like, what are you even saying? Your parents are gonna charge you rent? It was like so unfair. Because
Right.
it's like, that's the one thing, right? It's like, it's a tether that's like almost unbreakable. So it's like, whatever I do now, I know that I can go back home.
Welcome to Identified, where we explore, challenge, and redefine the traditional concepts of family and identity. In this episode, I'm joined by Yasi Salek, host of the podcast Bandsplain.
I was born here, but my family immigrated from Iran in like the late 70s, like post-revolution.
Wow.
Yeah, my parents. And actually a lot of other family. My dad has 3 brothers and a sister. They all actually came here to go to college.
They all came over at the same time.
Not at the same time. My oldest uncle came to go to actually high school. He finished high school here at Uni High, which is in LA. Lived with some like cousins, and also my aunt, who's older than my dad, did the same thing. And then he was already here. His other older brother was already here. They all went to this. His older brother, him, and I think 2 of the brothers and him all went to Cal Poly Pomona. And basically, their father was like, "Here's a one-way plane ticket. Here's like a small sum of money. Godspeed to you. Have a good luck." And they lived in like a 1-bedroom apartment in Hollywood, and they would drive out to Cal Poly, and they studied engineering. And
That's far, right?
Yeah, but I think they were like always needing to be close to family, and most of our family lived in like the West Hollywood area, and they had jobs out there. Like they were waiters and pumped gas and stuff, and then they would drive out to go to college. Yeah, it's about an hour.
Right.
And then they would come back and live in this 1-bedroom apartment.
Wow. So they came over, so not all at once, but that's sort of a classic American immigration tale, isn't it? Where someone comes over, someone else comes over.
Yeah, you go where you already have
Yeah.
a community.
Right. Do you know, was there a big Iranian community at the time, or were they sort of joining something, or were they starting something?
You know, I'm not sure, but I think I know that LA has traditionally been one of the biggest hubs for Iranian people, and I know they came because other people were already here.
Right.
So they definitely didn't start it. I don't know who started it. You know, they had Iranian friends at. My mom wasn't here yet. This is when my dad was in college at Cal Poly, and like some of their best friends to this day are the people they met at Cal Poly, who they obviously gravitated towards. Wow. They all didn't speak English. I mean, they came here to go to college, but they didn't speak English. They kind of learned as they went, you know.
Just like immersion.
Yeah, I mean, they're studying engineering, so you don't so much need to like. But yeah, they were sort of learning as they went.
Wow, and living in Hollywood, West Hollywood.
Living in Hollywood, West Hollywood.
Driving to Pomona.
Yeah, driving to Pomona.
And graduated.
Poor, yeah.
Like. And then, how old? These are people, they're young, in their 20s at the time?
Oh, I mean, they were like 18, 19. They came they came right after they finished whatever the equivalent, I don't know what they call it in Iran, high school is, yeah. And then they went over and, you know, made their way through. My dad, in particular, got a master's. Like, he kind of put himself through college and grad school. Yeah, he worked at a restaurant that doesn't exist anymore called Kelbo's. It was a Hawaiian. They actually all worked there. He like waited tables, and then he worked at Thrifty's, which is what Rite Aid is now, and he scooped ice cream.
Kelbo's Hawaiian restaurant?
Kelbo's Hawaiian restaurant.
Amazing.
And Thrifty's ice cream, and then pumping gas.
It's like really like the American dream.
Literally.
Like come over here, build yourself up, get a real job, go to school, and then and they became engineers, I assume?
They became engineers. My dad is the only one that stuck with it, I think, for his like whole career, and he basically like was an engineer for a while and then kind of moved into management, and then just always stayed in corporate America, like in sort of the companies that had that thread of engineering.
Wow.
Yeah, he did that his whole life. I mean, he's still alive. He's retired now, but he like sits on boards of those kinds of companies.
And he's still in the LA area.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you're born.
My dad went back, I think, after he finished school, because the plan was never to like come here and stay. The plan was to come here, get a better education, and then go back.
Okay.
Because in Iran, being an engineer is like being a doctor or a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like one of those jobs.
But easier to become one here and go back?
I think it's just more elevated, right? It's like
Right.
the American education system. And he went back and he worked at the TV station, which was owned by the government. That's where I met my mom. She worked there too. And then like pretty soon after, the revolution happened. And so they couldn't stay.
So they had to leave.
They came.
Right.
So then
and they already had roots here.
And they and you know, I think my aunt had she met her husband here while she was, I think, at the tail end of high school or the beginning of college. So she has an American husband, and they all came back here eventually. They had all gone back and they came back here, and like 3 years later, I think I was born.
And you've always lived in the Los Angeles area?
My childhood, yeah. I went to high school in Singapore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, we'll get there. Let's talk about young Yasi first.
Yeah.
I guess maybe my question is, what was it like being Iranian in Los Angeles as a kid? Was it very common? Did you know other Iranian kids, or was it?
I was born when we lived in the West Hollywood apartment. Then they moved out to Sun Valley to like, you know, sort of this.
Idaho or
no? There's a Sun Valley here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's no, I know, right? It's hard to describe. It's kind of by Tahunga and north of Glendale, a little bit out there.
Kind of the country-ish a little bit.
It was just like upward mobility, right? You have to buy a house. You can't stay here. Like you got to go out a little bit. So I went to school there till I was about 7, and then we moved to Torrance, which is in the South Bay Valley. So no, there was not Iranian people in Torrance.
Okay.
It was being an immigrant, you know, it was being an immigrant kid. Like it was being different for sure.
Yeah.
Like I would bring my little lunch to school and it would be like Persian food, and it's like so pungent. It's delicious,
so good.
but it has like the craziest smell. And I remember like begging my mom, like, because all the kids would make fun of me.
Right, have their ham
like,
sandwiches
Can
or
you please
whatever.
have a bologna sandwich, like with like the crust cut off or whatever, like the
Jenny
American
has.
kids. Yeah, with like mayonnaise, like shit. Like my mom was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And she was like, no, you take this. And I was like, they don't make fun of me.
All right, well, all those kids are trying to make that now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think about it a lot, how like so much, because this is the 80s, right? So much has changed. Like now the Persian kid at school is probably considered so cool with their Persian food, or like the other kids bringing sushi, or like all these like multicultural things.
Yeah.
Like it was not like that in the 80s, particularly not in Torrance.
I mean, pre-internet is really kind of a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not Iranian, but my name is Nabil. People often think I'm Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And I mean, I grew up in much more, really, really, like my first 10 years, super, truly diverse areas in Amherst, Massachusetts and New York. So I wasn't the weird kid because of my name or whatever, but I do remember lots of kids eating all these different foods and me being the kid that was like, wow, what's that? What's that? And like noticing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, food is such an interesting, I don't know, I guess cultural marker, especially for kids, right? Where that was embarrassing for you. You just wanted to fit in.
100%. I was like, again, I want a Coca-Cola and a bologna sandwich, and that's not what I got. I didn't have a casserole. I didn't eat that until I was in high school because that's not what we ate, you know?
Right. Cheese.
It just is not part of our culture, you know? So, like, I think my mom, like, would make spaghetti and stuff like that was, like, as far as she went outside of...
Right.
But casserole was, like, so fundamentally American.
Were you close with your family when you were growing up? Did you feel like because you were different than other kids that you were closer or less close to your family? I guess, how did that...
I mean, we're very close. Middle Eastern culture is, like, collectivistic, so it's, like, there's no option. Like, you're close to your family. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not an alternative to that.
Right.
But at the same time, I think I was really resentful. I was really resentful that I was the weird kid. And I was really resentful also of, you know, they were still very Iranian in their traditions and in their, like, worldview. But I was like, but you're raising me in America and you're trying to impose your culture onto like they wouldn't let me sleep over at friends' houses because they didn't do that there. They didn't even have, they didn't even go to co-ed schools.
Wow.
So it's like so much of this was different. So I was just like constantly kind of fighting against this like imposed structure. And then also like I really wanted to be American. I wanted to fit in. And I think back because I was getting into some fuck shit when I was a kid for sure, and I always think about it and I'm like, oh, I think because to me, like, even though I wasn't conscious of it, being rebellious and like doing drugs and being bad was American. That's so American to me, right? So because like there were immigrant families for sure. Torrance is very Asian. There's a lot of Korean families. But like, if you think about it, it's like traditionally most children of immigrants, especially within like Iranian, Korean, a lot of Asian cultures, are the good kids. You get the good grades.
Right, academic.
I did also because like I didn't have a choice, obviously.
Right.
My parents were like, what is this? A-? We're going to talk about this. What happened?
Oh, wow.
So, and I was going to like Kumon after school. I was the only non-Korean kid in Kumon. It's an after school math class for those of you that don't know.
I see the ads, yeah.
Yeah, so I would just have to go after school, right, and study more math. But then also, you know, low key was doing all kinds of bad shit because that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be American.
Did it make you feel American? Were you hanging out with more American kids when you were doing the bad shit?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right, so that's your in, right?
Yeah.
That's
totally.
your bologna sandwich.
That was my bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
It was like smoking weed out of a Coke can, you know? The alley behind the middle school.
Amazing. So then you went to high school in Singapore.
Yeah, so it's actually a second most formative thing for me, I think, because it's like I just gotten it down. Like I'm like, okay, I'm smoking weed, I got my cool friends, I'm going to parties, keg parties, I'm in. Like I'm wearing my cool skate shoes and I'm listening to Nirvana and like, and then they're like, yeah, so, hey, we're moving to Singapore. And I was like, I just fucking figured it out over here. And it was like a whole new layer of being the other one more time and having to sort of like reestablish the self or whatever, and then being a second layer of other because like you're an American kid in Asia,
right?
You know?
Probably had to do a lot of explaining, even just who you were and where you came from.
We went to an American school, yeah. So like Singapore's a big hub for expats. So there's like a British school, an Australian school, an American school. But yeah, just having to like sort of start over and like reinvent is like probably I need 40 years of therapy, but also a hallmark of why I'm good at what I do. You know what I mean? Like I can talk to anyone because
I totally agree. I think that's the thing. I mean, I didn't do that, but my mom and I moved a lot when I was a kid. It was just me and my mom. And I mean, there was 3 years when I did, I think, 4th grade in Amherst, Massachusetts at this total hippie school, 5th grade at this fancy private school in New York City, and 6th grade at a public school in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah.
And as sort of crazy as that sounds, in my head, those were all great years. And I think that made me, social and adaptable and open to things and all kinds of things that are important. And I know plenty of people, friends now who have kids, are like, yeah, I'm really afraid to move. And I don't have kids, so I can't relate. And maybe this is unfair. Right. But I'm always like, you should move your kids. You should do it. I think it's really good for them. Maybe it's not good for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I was 15. 15 is a rough time to move.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right? Everything you have forms who you are. But like, I'm like, it was a survival mechanism. Like, you have to be able to like, do a little tap dance in order to have friends, and then you're like, oh my god, do I still tap dance? Am I still like at a party tap dancing for people? Totally. It is what it is, you know. Yeah.
When did you get into music? Music's obviously a big part of your life. Was that?
I think I was always really into music. That's another portal to Americanism, you know? Like my mom was very into Madonna, so that was my first like thing that I even became aware of in terms of pop culture and music. Like she loved Madonna, and so of course I loved Madonna. A little girl, like Madonna was the most amazing goddess, coolest, the outfits, everything.
And super American in a lot of ways, right?
Oh my god, so American. So we would like tape her music videos off of VH1 and MTV and like watch them. So I can't really remember a time that I wasn't really into music and pop culture. Yeah.
Do you remember your first show?
Yes, my first show was the Gypsy Kings with my parents.
That's an interesting, that doesn't fit in either.
Yeah, it wasn't my choice. They Persian people love the Gypsy Kings. Deeply. Like if you go to Gypsy Kings concert here in LA, it'll be like a huge amount of Iranian people. Yeah.
Interesting. And then what did you do after high school? Did you go to college?
Yeah, I wanted to come back here, obviously, because I'm in Singapore. And my cousin, because I'm really close to my cousins, I have about, on my dad's side, we have like 12 cousins, I think.
Oh, wow.
And 2 of them are my exact same age. We were born within like a month and a half of each other, 3 girls. One of them was going to UC Santa Barbara. And my parents would not let me leave California to go to college, even though they weren't here, because they wanted me to be close to the family.
Because the family's here, right.
So I applied to a bunch of different California schools, and it came down to like being between like USC and Santa Barbara. And I went where I knew somebody, so I went to Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where both of your cousins went, or one
Just
cousin
one,
went?
yeah.
Okay. And you were close with your cousin
Super
through
close.
college?
Oh my God, we lived together. Yeah, super close.
Amazing.
And I also was like a year ahead. She's a year ahead of me in school, even though she's my same age. But then because I took so many AP classes, immigrant parents.
Doesn't sound competitive at all between you and your
No,
cousin.
we weren't at all. It's just like her parents had put her ahead in school a year for some reason. And then I entered college as a sophomore, basically, because I had so many AP credits.
Okay, right.
So we ended up kind of also graduating at the same time. I was only there for 3 years, yeah.
And are you still close now?
Oh my God, totally. We talk all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And does she live in the area?
She lives in New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was that like when she moved?
You know, it's funny, this is such a long, because we're old now, but she lived in New York first, right? When we graduated college, we both kind of like, I went to San Francisco, she was in LA, but then she went to New York. And I wanted to go to New York so bad. And so I ended up going right after her. And she moved back to LA and I took her room in her apartment. And I ended up living there, yeah. So then I stayed there for a couple more years while she was in LA. We never lived there at the same time. And then I came back to LA and then she moved back to New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're still close.
Oh my God, totally. I just saw her the other day. It was Thanksgiving. I don't know when this is going to come out, but we see each other on family holidays. I go to New York often. She comes here often. So, and we just talk all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do people have kids? Your cousins have kids? Are there a younger generation that you spend time with?
Yeah. So actually, both my cousins who are my same age, one of them has a baby, and one of them is right now in the process of having a baby, and my oldest cousin has 2 children. My second oldest cousin has 2 children. There's lots of kids, actually. Yeah.
And do you spend time with them?
Oh, totally. Yeah, they're teenagers.
Oh.
The older ones.
Like people.
Yeah, like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been much grief in your family that you've had to deal with?
Yes and no. Like, I always think about how, like, it's going to be really hard when a really primary person in my life passes away. I, like, luckily have not experienced that yet, like a parent or a sibling. My grandfather and grandmother both died when I was quite young, because my grandfather was 98 years old when I was 18.
Oh,
because he didn't start having kids till he was 40. He was actually the most interesting man alive. Like the Dos Equis man? No, it's my grandfather.
But you remember him when you got to spend time with him.
Oh my God, we were so close. Yeah. We were so close. So that was kind of pretty hard, but it's still a grandparent, and like also 98 years old.
Yeah, it's a good run.
And my grandmother was like 86, but also like older. And my cousin's father, who's not my uncle, my aunt's husband, when we were like 19, he died of lung cancer, and that was pretty rough. But that's the most kind of grief that we've dealt with within our family.
Yeah. Tell me more about your grandfather.
I would love to. It's one of my deepest obsessions. So obviously my grandfather's Iranian, my grandmother's Iranian. My grandfather was Muslim, my grandmother was Jewish. Yeah. So my grandfather left Iran when he was 18 years old. He joined the Merchant Marine and went to Northern Africa. He got kicked out of the Merchant Marine because he allegedly had an affair with the captain's wife. So they went ahead and just dropped him right off there in Northern Africa. They were like,
you can stay, you're out.
Yeah, fuck you, you're out of here. You can't be in this Merchant Marine anymore. It was the Italian Merchant Marine. It was Eritrea was the country. Right. So he stayed there. He got an apartment. He had a pet monkey who lived on his balcony. He was a vegetarian, which is like absolutely insane to think about that this was 1920.
Oh.
You know what I mean? There was no vegetarians. And according to family lore, he had like a little religion. Like people followed him. Like he didn't start it, but people were like, just like, who is this man?
Like very charismatic.
Charismatic, tall, handsome, doesn't eat animals,
But keeps monkeys.
But keeps a pet monkey. So he was there for a while. And then it's very interesting because he doesn't come back to Iran until he's 40. And there's not a lot known about what he was doing.
He stayed in Eritrea.
I don't know. He traveled all over the place. Our last name is only our section of the family has that last name because he traveled so much that at some point his passport got translated incorrectly. And so Salek is not the last name of, like, because we're Iranian, so we're also even close to like my dad's cousins who are like his brother's kids. Their last name is Saket. That's what it was.
That was his last name, and
that was his last
name.
Wrong. Someone wrote it down wrong, and so our entire branch of the family has this like fake last name.
He just invented a new family name.
I mean, not probably by purpose, but like, And yeah, so he comes back, he's 40 years old, which is like very late to get married back then. You know, again, now it's like 1940. He was born in like 1900 or 1901 or something.
Okay.
And my grandmother was 28, which at that time was quite old to not be unmarried. So he married her and he converted to Judaism. He didn't believe in religion. He used to like pull me aside when I was a child and be like, religion is a crutch. And I'm like, I'm 9. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, I hear you, Grandpa.
I mean, you might not know this, but I mean, how it was for him to convert, because converting to Judaism is not easy. But
yeah, I think he probably had to put in the fucking work, man. I mean, again, I don't know. It's a Sephardic Judaism and it's in Iran, so I don't know exactly how analogous it is with like what we learn from like Sex and the City, for example. I don't know if you had to go through the Charlotte school of becoming Jewish or whatever.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
I never asked him, so I don't know. I really regret. There's so many things I didn't ask him. I was 18. Like,
that's the thing, right? Yeah.
And nobody who knew him is alive anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So then he was a diesel mechanic. He was also jailed for being a communist in Iran. He was so interesting. Yeah.
Oh my God, how long was he in jail?
I don't know, like month maybe. They took away all his books. He had all these communist books. He was really interesting. But yeah, then he had 5 kids, you know, diesel mechanic, like working class Iranian, poor actually. My dad and his brothers all slept under the dining room table growing up, like, and one by one he kind of like scraped together money to send them to America to get an education.
Right, and this is the guy who sent them over.
Yeah.
And he stayed there.
Oh yeah. And eventually they came, you know, like him, my grandma, and my youngest uncle, who was kind of like, didn't end up going to college, so they all came over here. That's
fascinating.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions about your grandfather. What do you think, if anything, you got from him?
You know, he would always tell me, he was telling me these stories when I was growing up about this girl, right? That was her name, it was this girl. And she would do like crazy out of the box things, like independent thought things, like, she's vacuuming the swimming pool. And like, I just thought it was delightful, right? I'm a kid. I'm like, this girl is crazy. What's she up to? This is a fucking crazy girl. But I look back and I think like his main thing was like, think for yourself, you know, like going with the religious thing, going with like, when I was growing up, him and my grandmother didn't live together. They never divorced or anything, but like they had their own apartments also in West Hollywood. And he just like did his own thing. Like he read books all the time. He would walk to the like flea market that's on the Fairfax one. Remember that one on Melrose? And buy like cool art for his apartment. He like drank whiskey, smoked cigarettes, but he also like had a banana smoothie every morning. Like he just like kind of like marched to the beat of his own drum. I mean, clearly a pet monkey, vegetarian, the whole thing. And I think that was like kind of what he was always trying to like impart, you know? But he was also very traditional. Like I remember one time we came to his house and my uncle had a fake ear piercing to see what he would do, and he lost his shit. He was so angry, you know, because it was from a different time.
Right. So certain things made sense, certain things didn't.
Exactly. Like he wasn't that open-minded, but yeah.
Wow. What do you wish you asked him? What would you ask him?
Everything. So many things. Like, what did you do in those like 22 years that you were just like wandering the world? Like, what kind of adventures did you get into? Like, yeah, I just have like, so many questions. And I always talked about like trying to write a book about him, but like at this point it would be like Big Fish, you know? Like I would have to make half of it up.
It'd be like fiction,
Yeah, I'm gonna have my
Which might be really fun and probably great.
And I really should. And I want to, you know, I should interview my dad and the cousins and stuff while they still have their memories of him, because I'm sure he told them more things than
there must be some info out there, right?
Yeah. So, but it's not, I mean, it's like we don't have a zine, Iran, like nothing
that you know of.
I don't think anything extant post-revolution. Like, there's just nothing.
There's
you
no
know,
records. Yeah.
There's no record. We didn't even know his birthday. We used to celebrate on January 1st because he didn't know his birthday. They didn't have documents and they didn't celebrate birthdays. So New Year's Day was his birthday for our family.
What a different time and place.
I know.
That is wild. I really wish I knew my great-grandfather on my mother's side till I was 10 or 11.
That's
knew him
crazy.
well. I have really good memories.
Yeah, because she was a young mother.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, 10 or 11 is too young to say I wish I'd asked him a bunch of questions.
Sure.
I don't know what I would have asked him. Yeah. But my grandparents on my mom's side, I knew until I was, you know, late 20s, maybe even early 30s. And I can't believe I never really grilled them and sat down and recorded
kind of
things.
Selfish.
Yeah.
And not even selfish, that sounds like pejorative. Like, you don't understand mortality yet.
Right.
It's not like breathing down your neck like it is for us, you know. Like we're like, God, we got to like figure some stuff out. It's like we're on the back half of shit right now.
That's true.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just stark, but it's true.
What is family to you?
You know, I used to be really jealous of like my American friends who like, my family is very close, but it's also like through an iron will, right? It's like, you're gonna come see us every week. I don't care if you like it or not, you know? And like often, of course, as like a 19, 20-year-old, like you don't wanna go see your parents every week.
Right.
But now I'm so grateful. Like now I'm like, actually like family means commitment, you know? Like, and that's why you can have chosen family too, but it's, you have to have a level of commitment. And commitment means doing things that you don't wanna do sometimes and being together through hard times. And like, I'm so grateful that like, they didn't give a shit if we wanted to or not, because now I'm so close with them in a way that like, I remember I used to like hear people be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna move back in with my mom and dad, they're gonna charge me rent. And I was like, what are you even saying? Your parents are gonna charge you rent? It was like so unfair, because it's like, that's the one thing, right? It's like, it's a tether that's like almost unbreakable. So it's like, whatever I do now, I know that I can go back home.
Right.
You know, like, then they'll always take me. Like, and I feel like that's family, right? Like, regardless of the circumstances, like, you can always go back there. I feel like that's a famous quote, actually. Some Mark Twain or someone said that.
Like a song.
Yeah, it's like home is a place that no matter what happens, whether they want to or not, they'll take you back. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to Identified wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major streaming platforms. And be sure to explore identifiedpod.com, the place to gain a better understanding of family. Our executive producer is Kiran Banerjee, and the show is produced by Palm Tree Island. The music for Identified is by Noella and Patricia Brennan. I'm Nabil Ayers. Thanks for tuning in.